I love human beings. That was not meant to be a joke. I really meant it. Whenever I say this to my friends, I always get teased for this. Let me ask all of you this. How many of you have gone through life changing experiences because of someone you never met? Because of someone you have met only once in your life? Wow, that's nice to see. So I'm here to share one such experience of mine in which hundreds of people impacted me without even them knowing about it. So here I'm just going to rewind that story for you, and it started a couple of months back. So one of those typical weekends when I was just relaxing at home and watching a movie with my family, I just checked Facebook. And I had posted a comment in an article in a news page. And one of those responses for that comment said, "You take care of your family first and then go and take care of the LGBT." Well, on one side, it's really consoling to know that somebody is more interested in your family than you are. However, when I went through that particular conversation, I went through a deep discomfort within. Here I am showing my passion for the LGBTQ community, and there is someone who's just making fun of my passion and compassion. So I just didn't know what to do with it. Should I respond? Should I not respond? I was not really sure. And this whole experience just impacted me, and my weekend mood just got spoiled. I was trolled on social media for expressing my opinion on something. And in the last 1.5 years, I have been trolled every week. So I'm just going to talk about that experience. Whenever we get trolled or cyberbullied, instead of responding with a fight, flight, or freeze, what would happen if we were just enjoying getting trolled? And what would happen if we just enjoy responding to those trolls and cyberbullies? This is exactly what I tried in the last couple of months. And I would like to share with you how those experiences with those trollers helped me understand more about myself and become a better person. Sometime last year, I bumped into Monica Lewinsky's Price of Shame TED Talk. Her very powerful and brave talk on our culture of humiliation really triggered a curiosity in me, which made me deep dive into that dark web of trolls and bullies. I started going through a lot of posts and comment sections, especially the controversial ones. And I also started going through the pages of all our celebrities, like Rima Kalingal, Shah Rukh Khan, Karan Johar, Twinkle Khanna, Khushbu, and Priyanka Chopra. What I saw and experienced amazed me. So the 5 things that really shook me and made me think. One, in most of the online arguments, people attack people, not the issues. The actors or the fans of one actor would attack the fans of another actor just to prove that the actor they support is the best. My respect for the women celebrities in our country just increased after going through their pages. It is as if they cannot have a life or opinion of their own. They cannot get away with even a single post without getting trolled or cyberbullied by someone somewhere who thinks that he or she is privileged enough to just criticize and get away with whatever they want to say just because they have a mobile and they have a Facebook account. Does it sound like, some music that recently we came across? Yeah. So here, when I went through those pages, I started to realize how we do not respect the boundaries of these people. From the color of their skin to the pimple on their face, from the shape of their nose to the size of their hip, everything gets criticized. There is absolutely no respect for anyone's boundary. Second, whenever I put across my opinion, I share my opinion on something in social media, there is a high probability that some stranger would personally attack me for my opinion. And these strangers would be very comfortable in telling me, hey, you fool, you stupid, stop that idiot. All this just to begin with. The more I would stick to my opinion, the stronger their slangs would be. And it really amazes me how comfortable people are in calling the strangers motherfucker, bastard, and bitch. In the last 1.5 years, I have got the comment, shame on you, 58 times. So it looks like this is the most favorite trolling sentence of the trollers and the most commonly used ones too. Third, in all these arguments, people expect me to agree, accept, and get convinced on their point of view. And if I continue with my point of view, then they would use this trolling or bullying as a weapon to attack me, primarily to force their opinion on me. So I have been questioned on my patriotism, on my dignity as an Indian woman, and once a troller checked with me very casually, are you available? Because I supported Sunny Leon in an argument. I know, it doesn't make sense at all. Fourth, in all these conversations, either people agree passionately or disagree emotionally. There is a lot of blood boiling throughout the conversation. Last but not the least, I get trolled more by men than women. So in the initial days, I used to get, a lot of thought process. I used to really hesitate a lot thinking, is it really safe for me to argue with someone online? What if I get morphed? What if it affects my family relationships? What if my future employer mines this data and finds me arguing with so many people online? Will it affect my professional life? What will people think of me? Will they like me? What if they don't like me and my opinion? And in this entire struggle within me, I used to invest a lot of time in just explaining the reasoning behind my perspectives to the trollers. And interestingly, the more I explained, the more I would get trolled. The more I got trolled, the more I would explain. And the whole conversation will go on till one point where I would get stuck. After that, I wouldn't know how to handle it. And I am already feeling victimized about it. So I just get away from it. But the biggest discomfort every time in each of this conversation was the deep realization somewhere that I was getting about my inability to convince someone in an argument. Why am I not able to convince someone in an argument? Why is that I'm not able to get these trollers on my side? How do I handle such online trollers without feeling victimized? I didn't have an answer. But I felt like the right thing to do is just leave it and move on. But it's not so easy. We may leave the laptop, but these thoughts may not leave you. So in those days, whenever I got trolled, I started going through the pages of these trollers just to see whether am I seeing something different in their page? Are there any psychological issues? See, I'm coming from that background, so you always use that lens, right? And there was nothing shocking or different in all those pages for me to understand, or there is something to suggest that they have some psychological issues. However, there are research findings confirming the correlation between the trolling behaviors and the psychological issues of the trollers. So in one of those days, I also started realizing that whenever I say my opinion in social media, I'm not just stating my perspective, I'm also inviting the trollers and bullies. And the more I started acknowledging this reality, the more I started getting pulled into it further. And in one of those days, as I was going through that very, very intensive conversation with the troller, as that entire conversation was becoming too much for me to handle, I just wanted to get away with it. I was just staring at that conversation and I thought I just can't take it anymore. But my need was to walk out of that conversation with dignity, with my head held high, without feeling victimized. So, in that whole urge, I just responded to this troller. I respect your point of view. I do not expect you to agree with me. Let's agree to disagree. To my shock and surprise, it stopped that troller from trolling me further. Probably I came across as very dispassionate or very neutral. So he was not interested in whole, conversation anymore. But for me, this was one of the eureka moments in my experiences with the trollers. It also changed the questions within me and made me ask myself, first of all, why am I trying to convince someone in an argument? Why am I feeling that deep discomfort when I'm not able to convince someone in an argument? Is it really necessary for me and my troller to agree upon our perspectives? To answer these questions, I had to take a step back. I come from a family where I was told, listen to the elders, we know what to do for you. And many times I have been branded as a rebel for chasing my dreams according to my needs. And my need has always been to be liked and valued. And interestingly, my biggest need also stemmed from my biggest fear, the fear of being disliked. I think all of us have that fear in us and the need in us. We just want to be liked, right? In our culture, we expect people to agree upon perspectives for us to have the harmony. We do not encourage people to say no, and hence we take no very personally. We do not allow people to argue, to progress in our perspectives. Rather, we argue to either win or not argue at all. We also do not allow people to make mistakes and fail. So you see, we cannot really afford to fail in an argument. So at some cost, at any cost, we have to win an argument, even if it is at the cost of someone else. Because in our head, it's about failing, and it is never accepted in our culture. Hence, my invitation for each of you today is to ask yourself, can we start allowing ourselves to agree to disagree? Can we start taking perspectives, looking at perspectives as perspectives, without taking it personally? Can we consciously put effort in progressing in an argument by focusing on the issue and not on the person? So with these questions in my mind, I started experimenting with trollers in various conversations. So every time a troller is attacking me, I would try to bring back the focus on the issue. And whenever there is a very different opposite perspective that I'm coming across, I would ask a lot of questions to the person, because my intention is to progress in my own perspective. My intention is not to win an argument. And my intention is just to state my perspective. My intention is not to bring down another human being. I laugh a lot at myself. I think it really puts off all the trollers, because now they can't laugh at you. And that always helps. I also started looking at it as conversations with human beings rather than branding them as trollers. And hence, many times I could get those conversations back on track in a very respectful manner. And irrespective of where they're coming from, what their perspective is, I started looking at it from a neutral point, because I'm not here to judge someone in front of the laptop and waste my time. I'm just here to enjoy that entertainment called social media. And let me just enjoy it. The moment I started trying all this, my entire experience with trollers changed. And now, I really invite them to troll me, literally, because I know every conversation is going to help me grow. So what's my point here? I look at Facebook differently. For me, it's a platform to grow and learn from others' perspectives, and do all these with strangers at my own pace and free of cost. But the most important lesson that I learned from this entire experience is, if someone else is feeling ashamed because of me, it is their responsibility, it is not mine. So I refuse to take that shameful feeling of others because it's there, it is not mine. So to all the people out there, especially women and all my friends from LGBTIQ community, it's time for us to say, bring its own trollers and cyberbullies. Why? Because it's really time for us to show the world that we can be scared. It's absolutely okay to be scared, but we can still be brave. Thank you.